Love, light, and blessings. This is Shamanic Iowa Priestess here. We're doing a lot of things right now, so I'm getting ready to go on vacay soon. So you might hear some noise in the background. I'm going to try not to let the noise get out of hand, but there's literally people in my home packing up. And then I got some readings to do for this week coming because I will not be around next weekend. Okay, so I wanted to do a Hoodoo haul, Botanica haul. I have like the marks of my glasses on my nose. And share with you some items and kind of give you more ideas, the type of workings that I do for those that are new to my channel and for the existing people that watch, just to share. Then I'm also going to be doing a VR to one person in particular, but there's a few other people that have asked me the same question, so I figured I would just make one video. When this will be downloaded, maybe today, I don't know, but I at least wanted to make the video. So first I'm going to start with my haul with a purpose. So I do psychic readings on a full-time basis. I connect to your past, present, and future. I can channel the thoughts of others, and I could tell you what he or she or they are thinking about you. Specialize in love readings, money readings, career readings, spiritual investigations, where you want to know who are your spiritual quadrants. I am a psychic medium, so there are times that I have done readings that a loved one has come through. Those are a little bit different, so please email me on my website, which is going to be linked below the description of this video, and I can kind of more go into that, how that particular type of reading works. I do angel readings. I do general readings. I mean, whatever psychic readings, most likely I do them. You can read my testimonials on my website. I have been reading professionally for a long time. I started reading on the online sites 7 years ago, online and through Skype and internet and things like that. And then I've had my own practice for almost now, we're going on my 3rd year. Okay, so that's a little bit of my background. I also perform what people will call spells. In my culture, we call them workings, because the way that my workings, or I know in the Western, they call it spell work or spells. The way that they work is that we are a team. So there might be things that I might tell you to do on your end, and then there's things that I do on my end, and I will talk to the spirits, and I will do either a Santeria ritual, a voodoo ritual, or even a hoodoo ritual, depending on what particular spirits want to take on that work and come through and do the workings. My workings can last anywhere from 7, 14, or 28 to 30 days. So you can get anywhere from 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks of workings. Depending on what kind of complications your case is. So when I'm doing a working for you, I always require a consultation. You can pick on the lower price point, which will be the 20-minute, and you can go as high as an hour. It's whatever you want to do. But in that consultation, I'm going to look at what spirits want to work with you, if they can help you with your situation. I cannot just take your word of mouth. I have to go into it spiritually, look at every single aspect, because you might need nothing. You might need a week's worth of spells. You might need 2 or 3 or 4. And the reason why you might need more than that, because you might need more than one working. And things of that nature. In that reading, I can tell you, okay, these are the baths we're going to do, so on and so forth. So it's going to be instruction. Sometimes in a reading, a person might think they need a spell, but all they need is baths. All they need to do is some type of ritual from themselves that they can easily do and not have to purchase a ritual from me. So that's why it's important. And I'm not saying everybody does this, but there has been people sometimes that are not quite honest about these situations. So I have to see what my spirit guides tell me about that particular situation psychically. Okay, so I can and know that it's going to work. Even after we do the reading and the consultations and I tell you what everything looks like, while I'm doing your working, you have to listen to the instructions that I am giving you in this spell, because I have done, and I have a very high accuracy rate when it comes to manifesting what the client wants. There has been a few people that have delayed or sabotaged the outcome. For instance, I'm going to say an example. So someone who wants a money spell but refuses to look for a job. This is why consultation is important. If you think that a job is somebody's just going to knock on your door and say, hey, I'm going to hire you, that's not going to happen. So if I have to see, are you realistic in your expectations? I have to see if you're going to be somebody who's going to do their part. If you're doing a love spell, same thing. If you're somebody who's not open to love, I might have to do healing work on you first in order to receive either a new love or to help you reconcile with an ex or to bless a marriage. I have to see what's going on with the relationship. Does this other person want to get back with you? Because if that person doesn't want to get back with you in the sense of like they don't love you, they want nothing to do with you, I will tell you that like, okay, this person loves you, so there's hope. This person does not want to be with you because I'm not going to force somebody to be in love with you. I can do that, but I'm not going to do it. So I have to see what that third party, if they actually want to be with you, if they actually love you. And even then, okay, there's been a very few cases where I've gotten things to get better in a relationship, but then I'm doing, you also have to do your follow-up, consultations and things just to see how the work is going and things of that nature, because I will continue to counsel you and things like that. Remember, do your baths, or remember, behave this way, because we're also, when we're doing work, the spirits are going to test you, and you can accidentally sabotage your own workings by doing the opposite. So if you're trying to attract somebody, being mean to them, bringing up the past, being physically abusive, so on and so forth, it's not going to bring the person back. If the spirits are saying, hey, don't talk about the person they're dating at this time while you're doing a separation working, and all you do is talk about that particular person, you're going to create the opposite. If there was control issues in the past and you're going to keep showing that you're controlling or you have a short temper, that's not going to bring the person back. Because remember, we're trying to sweeten, we're trying to manifest, we're trying to attract. Like attracts like. So I can do everything on my part, but you have to also be willing to do your part. It's why I'm very selective on people that I take on when it comes to workings. And I'm becoming more and more picky, because I have cases where people have gotten back the person they want and then later on change their mind, and then I have to do an unbinding spell work. You know what I mean? So this is why, for me, it is very, very important that we do, okay, a sorry guys, I'm sending a message out right now. I get messages and emails sometimes, okay? So it's important that you do your part while I'm talking and petitioning the spirits. They have feelings. They don't want to do all this work if you're just going to go on and sabotage it. So I just look for people that are very serious about making these types of changes and things of that nature. This is why the consultation part is so, so important. I want you to be successful. I want to be successful. That's my reputation, and it's your happiness on the line. So, and there are certain things I will not do. So I do love workings, reconciliation, attracting new love, working on yourself, marriage spells, blessing, assisting relationships, a bunch of stuff there. Road opener spells, money spells, attracting money, retaining money, removing money hexes. I do spells for loved ones, children, things like that. So stability in the home. I do workings when it comes to legal situations. I do workings when it comes to removing any types of hexes. And I also do what I call justified spell work or justified workings, which is I will, if someone is doing something to you, I will send that back, and other things that I would do. So I also do head work. So which brings me to one of my first items. I have candles like this, many different colors, and these I use for spell work. Workings when it comes to head work. I do specialize in head work. I do like to, I can influence certain things on a third party or even head work on yourself. Again, this is my culture. I do not practice do no harm. And I have my set of morals as you have your set of morals. So I do relationship enhancement spells, wedding spells, blessing marriages, blessing relationships. So I got a couple of these different colors, things like that. Some figure candles that I cannot show you because I also specialize in sex magic. And if you want to know more details about sex magic and what I do with that, and things of that nature, you can email me on my website, and I will gladly give you more details about that. I'm going to be making some oils this weekend, so I got 2 skeleton keys, because I'm going to be doing some rituals with that and also giving it as an offering to said spirits that work with skeleton keys. I also got some Jezebel root. I got some Adam and Eve. Okay. I got some more dragon's blood. I got some lodestones, which I work with a lot. I do a lot of attraction work, and things of that nature. Financial work, which is what Jezebel, one of the properties of that is getting the men folk to kind of release some of that monies. I'm also going to be making some baths for clients and also some oils with some abre camino herbs. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that kind of stuff. So I bought multiple amounts of that, but I wanted to show like one of each. So that is it for my Botanica haul. Then I wanted to answer this question that someone in my channel asked. And the question was, if you are someone who's more of a pagan, which I'm going to say right now, and you have family members that are Christian, would it be disrespectful to honor them in your current traditions? I can only give you a general answer because I do channel and contact the other side. So for me to give a very matter-of-fact answer, I would actually have to consult these ancestors in a reading. Okay, so just to let everybody know that. So this is just a general answer. This may not be the same answer for everybody. But generally speaking, without doing a consultation, without anything like that, I personally would not. Because just like I have my beliefs in this lifetime, I wouldn't want my future, to become an ancestor and then people are mixing and matching practices of their current practice. I wouldn't like that. If I was a Christian person, I would like to have in my ancestral altar, where you're honoring me, to have images of Christianity and to be honored on said, let's say I was Catholic, so I would like to be honored on all saint days. Maybe I would like to have a Bible in my altar, and so on and so forth, and maybe a vigil candle or something. I wouldn't want to be in a pagan altar if that's not what I believed. I feel like in my culture, we respect our ancestors. So I have native ancestors, and so I honor them through their native spiritual practices. I have African ancestors, both of the diaspora and before the diaspora, and so I'm going to try to learn as much for that region of Africa and honor them in those traditions, cook those types of food. I have Haitian ancestors, so I'm going to try to, as much as possible, accommodate whatever their spiritual and heritage is. I'm going to try as best as possible to honor them in those traditions. So my answer would be, I would personally not do that. In my culture, that's not really smiled upon. But again, your spirituality is your own, and you need to do what's right for you. But if you're asking me, which they did, I would say no to that. As far as the other question, being of a deeper Celtic, should you honor ancestors that you don't know? Again, without doing a reading, because I would need to do a consultation to actually answer these questions with you and actually talk to the ancestors to see if they even want to be honored. Because not every ancestor, just because they're blood related to you, wants to be honored or part of your spiritual practice. In my culture, that's what we do spiritual investigations. We look at what are your lineages, what spirits, what deities actually want you to serve them, because in our culture, it is frowned upon to just build altars to spirits and entities that you don't even know they want you to serve them. They can actually do really big harm in your life. Being a spiritual worker, I do paranormal investigations. I do exorcisms, and I've seen when people start to dabble in things they may not quite understand, or conjure up or contact spirits they do not want to be contacted. They can really wreak havoc in your personal life. So I'm not trying to scare people. These are things I've seen on first-hand accounts. So personally speaking, unless I know you want me to serve you, I'm not going to serve you. I'm not going to conjure you. I'm not going to honor you. I'm not going to do any of that. Because not every ancestor is a good person. And if you don't know who they are, in our culture, we don't do that. We have specific ways in which we will honor our ancestors. We would know your name. We would, so on and so forth. What kind of person were you when you were living? So on and so forth. Because in my tradition, we consider the Orishas and the Loas, most of them are our actual ancestors. So we also have a different interpretation of ancestors in a lot of ATR spiritual paths. Those that are more traditional, not your modern, but like your traditional from the islands, that kind of stuff. We believe that you have to ask the permission of the spirits, and we don't see them as God and goddesses, but instead we see them as actual ancestors, because many of them were alive. You know what I'm saying? Many of them were actually alive at one time and one point. You know what I mean? So anyways, much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully I was able to answer that question. So personally for me, I wouldn't do neither of those things. But again, I cannot give you an absolute answer, because everybody is a case by case. Maybe those ancestors wouldn't mind. Maybe they were all good. I cannot know unless I spiritually look into your situation and actually give you a reading. But generally speaking, I personally wouldn't do that, because in my culture, ancestral veneration is very, very, very serious and very sacred. We give our spirits sometimes our last dollars, our food. Like, we feed them food. Like, we give them the last of the last. There's a story about Oshun when she had to give an Igbo because she been through riches and she's been through poverty, and she gave the last of what she had to the spirits and got 20 times the blessings. And so we do a lot. Sacrificing is not just going and killing an animal. Like, popular misconception with that. When we talk about able sacrifices, offerings to the spirits, a lot of times it's self-sacrifice, giving the little bit we have, knowing that the spirits are going to pay us 20 times more, because we are giving with a generous heart. So ancestral veneration is very, very sacred, and I take it very seriously. And we, in my culture, in my practice, and I personally don't contact any spirits unless they give me that permission. Every spirit that I serve, which is over 20-something spirits, they all have come to me in dreams. They all have come to me in readings. They let themselves be known and say, I want you to serve me. I'm going to help you with this situation, so on and so forth. Some leave and some stay. But it's always been a mutual. I just don't go around tapping into energies, because at the end of the day, not every spirit is a good spirit. So much love, light, and blessings. Hopefully that answered those questions, and thank you so much for watching my channel. Love and light. Bye, guys.